So we begin the track north after the Flinders Ranges. Kurt pumps up the tyres for our last leg of bitumen for a good while.
We opted to spend the night at Lea Creek Caravan Park so we could charge up all our toys and use up our remaining data.
It wasn't the best caravan park ever, but it did the job for our one night stay. We checked out and headed into town to send away some birthday cards and get our final technology fix.
Well, we hit the road just after 11 AM on route north. We only got about 15 kilometres out of Lea Creek when it was time to deflate our tyres again.
Our first stop was into the old township of Farina. The weather wasn't the best, with it sprinkling some rain, but that didn't deter us from wandering around the old buildings.
There is a few volunteers working there at the moment, trying to restore some of the old buildings with the original materials.
Check out this bathtub with a view. Talk about al fresco bathing.
Lots of people had told us to buy some bread from the Farina bakery when we passed through. Unfortunately, it was closed when we were there, and it was due to open in 10 days. Bugger.
Happy with our wander around, we jumped back in the car and continued the journey north. Marree was in our sights as our next spot.
I gave the caravan a quick going over with the blower as the road was quite dusty.
We had heard great things about the Marree Hotel from Kurt's parents and decided to stay the night here. It was free to stay behind the hotel. It's simply first in, best dressed, and staff ask that you buy something at the hotel like a few beers or a meal.
Our plan was to eat at the hotel that night, so we headed in once it got dark. While we waited for our meals, we browsed around the hotel, learning about Tom Kruse, a true legend whom used to deliver the mail from here to Birdsville weekly.
The food was delicious and the beers were cold. We were happy chappies, all packed up the next day, ready to continue exploring.
We got talking to the bar staff and the locals last night, whom gave us a great map of Marree and told us some spots to go check out before we leave town.
Our first town stop was down to the cemetery, which we'd been told was quite unique. Marree Township used to be very culturally diverse back in the day, and people would be buried in different sections of the cemetery.
The locals told us, despite the segregations in the cemetery, all the cultures got along and lived in peace together.
Our next stop was back down into the centre of town to check out the railway history. There was a few bits and pieces to look at, and you can also see Tom Cruise's original truck.
We then walked up the road to check out the very first mosque built in Australia.
Just a little hop skipping away from this was the Lake Air Yacht Club. Yep, that's right, Lake Air has its own yacht clubhouse.
It was pretty cool to have a squiz at the photographs and a little yarn with the Commodore.
We then joined the queue to top up with some diesel before officially starting the Oonadatta track. Hey guys, so we're just left Marree and we're about to start the Oonadatta track. Everything looks open, so we're just at the sign now. So everything's open. Kurt's just topped up with fuel, up with diesel. So yeah.
What's the next stop?
So we're hoping to make Coward Springs this afternoon. We've heard that's beautiful.
We will make it.
We will make Coward Springs. And then after that we're hoping to then go do a night at, what's that big thing called?
Algebra Bridge.
Yeah, the big Old Ghan Rail Bridge where we stopped last time, and then hopefully we'll track up to Mount Dare. So we might stop at a few things on the way to Hergott Springs. We'll see how we go. Alright, cool, let's do this.
About half an hour down the track, we spotted a mob of baby emus crossing the roads with their mama.
A little bit further on, we pulled over to stretch the legs and check out the Outback artwork. A lot of the artwork pieces were on the larger scale. It was quite amusing wandering through the field for a good half an hour.
As always, after any outing, Rusty is always eager to get back in her cage. Special thanks to the legends who put up these red flags on the track to indicate the deep rut.
Next stop along the track was a lookout point to Lake Eyre. We had a browse over the information boards before grabbing a quick drone shot. You can walk down to the edge of Lake Eyre, but we decided not to.
We topped up our tummies with some food before continuing the trek. Next on the list was 2 natural springs off the main track we wanted to see. They were pretty cool to see, but not overly amazing.
Hergott Springs was our final stop for the day and also our chosen camp spot for the night.
We grabbed the camping form, checked out the facilities, and chose a camp spot. The campground was pretty quiet, which was good.
I filled out the camping form and dropped it off before we headed to the spring for a refreshing dip.
We had the spring to ourselves for a good half an hour, with just a few travellers having a geeze. We then headed back to the van to have some late lunch / early dinner. Ames made some delicious burgers, salad, and sweet potato chips.
a little fire in our fire pit, and we relax the afternoon away watching the sunset.
The next morning we packed up camp and walked down to the museum for a look. It was only small, but it had a lot of interesting info on the history of Hergott Springs. Alright, so day 2. Today we're at Hergott Springs. That was our second stop on the Oonadatta track. It's a pretty nice place. It's a shame about the flies, but the flies are going to be everywhere up here. So even at the station, they've already told us that there's going to be a lot of flies up there. So
All packed up, we hit the road for our official second day on the Oonadatta track.
we passed a fair few old railway sidings in the morning. After about 2 hours of driving, we made it into Lea Creek.
We couldn't resist a mid-morning beer while checking out this iconic pub.
A quick look in the town park across the road, then we hit the dirt again. All sections of the road were still open and we had our sights set on the Old Ghan Bridge waterhole camp spot.
The railway bridge was still as impressive as the first time we saw it. We did notice there's significantly less water about since our last visit last December.
We had some homemade pizzas as a late lunch. Yummy! Ames makes quite the pizza.
Hey guys, so we are just at the waterhole near the Old Ghan Bridge. Kurt threw in some yabby nets last night, but no yabbies here, which is a bit of a shame. So now we're just packing up. We're going to go head to Mount Dare, try and make it to Mount Dare this afternoon, so that's our next stop. We've just got the sat phone here. It's obviously no reception at all, so we've just got the sat phone searching, so this is registered. So we'll leave that on for a few minutes, see if we've got any messages, any emergencies back home, but obviously fingers crossed, I highly doubt it. And yeah, the flies are out in full force, hence the fly nets, the must-have Outback accessory. Alright, cool, well, yeah, we're going to get packing up and I think we're going to pop into Oonadatta, fill up with some fuel, so that'll be the first stop. Alright, see yous. I pretty much have the inside van packed up, down pat, and can have everything put away and in place in less than 10 minutes.
Filling up with fuel. I poured our last jerry can of fuel into the Navara to get us to Oonadatta, where we topped right up again.
the pink Oonadatta Roadhouse, we meet again. This time we opted just to get some fuel and continue our trek north.
About 30 kilometres down the road, we saw these two legends on bicycles, tackling the remaining Oonadatta track to Marla.
With all the upcoming signage related to Mount Dare, we knew we were getting close.
We arrived into Mount Dare Hotel mid-afternoon. We checked in, then headed round the back to set up camp for the night.
Alright, about to open the caravan after a good day of bumpy roads. I'm scared of what we'll find. Let's have a look. Yeah, the flies are out. Alright, here we go. Oh my god. Look at it. A bomb's hit it. A bomb has hit it. Time for a clean up. Just as the sun was going down, we headed up to the hotel for a few drinks before dinner.
The resident pup, Gemma, loved a good throw of her ball.
Well, join us next time as we go full steam up to the station for our work and hit pause on our electrical work to watch a famous Fig Desert race.
If you liked the episode, guys, then don't forget to give us a like, and if you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Cheers, legends.